As always, wonderful and beautiful, glorious day it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us all rejoice and be glad in it. It is a soulful Sunday. Absolutely, it is. It is our weekly trade watch list, all right, for February 25th through March 2nd. Absolutely, it is the weekly trade watch list. All right, like I said before, I'm going to be absolutely do be more consistent doing these things. All right. So years ago, we're gonna start off on gold. But before we get into it, we're gonna turn the swing market tab backwards. We're about to go in like Ash Ketchum on Pokemon, and you know we gotta put that pin in the cap. All right. Let's go ahead and get to it. Um, Simply being within here were simply areas of interest where the buyers could came back into the market. But my thing is, I am as far as a point of interest, I'm going to go no lower than the M15 as far as a point of interest because I am a type of trader that I want to catch, a lot of pips and everything. So if you're scalping, you have to be more prone to be screen watching if you're scalping because you're not standing there for a long time. You're not planning on staying in there long term. All right. So I'm simply going to erase, remove these areas of interest there on lower time frames. Some are the M5, some are the M1, some on the M30, but I literally took this sale, called out this sale. Thing about it is it stretched all the way down here, 12% counter trend on a lower time frame. I think it's on the M1 between the M5 and the M1. I called that sell out. But thing about it is this: simply was being undisciplined, stacking trades as far as not stacking entries like legit taking, okay, cool, this is another entry to scale in. Just simply, oh, I got an entry and I'm simply putting in three, 4 orders at a time. I need to stop doing that. All right. But hey, did not blow my account. I'm just saying, like, it took a retracement or correction, if you were to say. But I'm not back at ground zero or step one. So still up from where I started. All right. But hey, that's not here nor there. That's the past. Don't cry over spilled milk. Okay, cool. Bet. Here we go. So the thing about it is that purple with that brick of structure right here, that's on the M15. You can see the execution was right here, literally at 2032.24. Price literally came all the way down here. I didn't take it all the way down here. I think my TP was like somewhere right here where you see this orange sitting at. All right, that was my TP, or somewhere right here. This is my TP. All right, but I'm simply erase these because this is old, right? And we got to focus more on higher time frame structure. Got to focus more on higher time frame structure. This was definitely a counter trend trade. I would not recommend any novice trader, beginning trader to do this, simply being because you do not understand yet how to counter trend trade. Okay, so here's the deal. Um, Simply took a trade back here. Now this I did not. My TP was not right here. I was just looking at what my TP could have been. All right. So this was actually my TP for this particular trade. No, it wasn't. This wasn't it. I'm about to sell myself short. That was my TP for this particular trade. This was an entry right here coming off of the daily, coming off of the daily zone. If we go to the daily on gold, we can see how price simply right here hit at this. This was the last area where price had accumulated and reaccumulated. So this was an area of interest where the buyers can come back into the market, regardless if it was counter trend or pro trend. This was an area of interest where the buyers can come back into the market. So I simply did what? Zoned it off at the wick right here of this bearish candlestick and all the way at the bottom of the accumulation right here that happened in the past. Price simply mitigated this area, went to the 1 hour time frame, went to the H1. Simply Price did do it too though. Price created a bullish divergence, change of character, internal change of character, which is also known as a Wyckoff accumulation. Okay, and so what happens after accumulation being printed and a reaccumulation has to be printed. So I simply did a see orange right here. You see this gray. clock, which means that was an area of interest on the M5. Price simply mitigated that area. I simply threw out the trade, like I said on my previous live session video. It wasn't this Wednesday that just passed, but the Wednesday before that, and I simply threw out the signal, and this was the area right here. We went at the H4. We literally went right here, put TP at the H4 order block, because this was a redistribution imbalance, and this was an area of interest where the sellers can come into the market. So, but I could have literally, because when this has been violated, this has been disrespected, that the sellers did not reappear off of this imbalance, I now know that price has to do what? Go all the way up here, because this is the next H4 area of interest where the sellers can come into this market. All right. So, which means this redistribution failed. The sellers did not reappear off of that imbalance. I now know that this has to be a what? A 4-hour reaccumulation. Okay, a 4-hour reaccumulation, which means on the lower time frame, H1 and below, we should be looking for buys going into this H4 supply zone. That's what that means. Okay, because you can see the sellers did not reappear off of this redistribution. If you simply zone this out, bam, you see it got violated, right? The sellers did not distribute off of the zone. So this has to be a reaccumulation. So you got the reaccumulation that's going to head into the what? The H4 supply zone up here. And then it's going to distribute off of it and then sell off. Okay. So now you can see this H4 imbalance right here. Price is finished reaccumulating. As I can see, we can simply get rid of this. This was a sell I took, but like I said, I didn't take it all the way to right here, this imbalance. This was definitely counter trend. It was off the M5, M1 time frame, and this yielded a 1 to 12. Like I said, I didn't take it for 12%. I took it for like a 1 to 4. All right, but that's not here nor there. I can simply get rid of that because that was last week's trade. All right, this past week, I can simply get rid of the breaking structure. Right, so now I can see that this is definitely a what? A reaccumulation. Definitely a reaccumulation, right? I told you reaccumulation, redistribution is going to be in some type of channel or some type of awkward looking or funky looking triangle, right? And you can see this right here. You got your accumulation, price goes up. You got your reaccumulation, price goes up again. So now on the M15, you can see M15 and M30. Where we go, like I said, the lowest I am going to go from here on out is M15, and I will discover. I'm going to unfold and tell you why in the Forex boot camp that I'm going to put on. I'm the only one that's putting this on as far as being the host. I'm the only one that's putting this on. So now that my basketball season has concluded, unfortunately, we did get better. My team did get better from the previous season. We were one game away. We were one win away from competing in the Final Four, and we fell, game short. And obviously, our season ended Saturday. We ended up having 3 games. So, gut wrenching, and players, I was coaching 5th and 6th graders. Obviously, they're distraught, they're upset. The season is over with. But all in all, we got better. I got better as a coach, and they got better as the season progressed. All right, and that was my main focus, my main goal. If it concluded in winning a championship, then hey, pat on the back, job well done, guys and players. All right, so here's the deal. We're looking at I said the lowest as far as points of interest, area of interest I would go is no lower than the M15 because I like catching big moves. Okay, I don't like scalping and having to sit there and screen watch my trade because that's what you do. That's the sacrifice that you take in order to be a scalper, is that you're going to be screen watching your trade, because a scalper, you have to screen watch because you're not planning on being in the trade for a long period of time. All right, but the M15 and higher, you can plan on being in for a few hours, maybe an entire trading day. Okay. So the thing about it is, I see a couple of areas of interest. Number one, this being right here, this reaccumulation. All right. This reaccumulation right here. So you can see already how price is diverging at the top. Okay. You can see already how price is diverging at the top right here. That means because this is an accumulation down here, you can see how price literally did what? Slant lower, right? And right here on the RSI, we got what? Equal lows. So the RSI is supposed to mimic and mirror what the candlesticks are doing. So because this is slanting lower, like this, and then this is slanting straight across, right? His midpoint now becomes a change of character. Okay. Remember, price prints in cycles. Okay. So 15-minute change of character above. So now we know that this is an accumulation. We now know that this is a reaccumulation. Prices now diverged and changed character internally. We now have this distribution. Prices done what? Diverged, changed character internally right here. This is now a M15 bearish change of character below. Okay. So now we still have a point of interest right here where the buyers can reappear. Okay. So I can zone this entire zone off like this. All right. And make this a M15 demand zone. All right. M15 demand zone. So now my thing is, what I would do is I would simply take a horizontal ray. I'll take a horizontal ray right here, put it across the top of here, and set an alert. Hey, this is going to be gold. How you don't miss out on your trades. Gold, M15, demand zone. All right, boom. Set it and forget it, all right? So now when price comes down to mitigate this area, it'll simply alert me not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. It'll email me to my personal email that I signed up with to create my TradingView account. It'll email me right here on the TradingView itself, the desktop. It'll email, it'll do a pop-up on my phone, right? The TradingView app, right? And it'll send me an email through my personal email, all right? So now, like I said, as far as points of interest, the lowest I will go is M15. This is the M15 zone. Now check this out. Entry, we're going to go M5 or M1 because we want the smallest risk possible on our trade to be able to catch the move. Okay. So now we know for a fact that because of the higher time frame, we know that what? Buys have to go all the way up here. Now, will this be the buy that goes all the way up here to reach this H4 supply zone? We don't know. But we know that we're looking for buys. We're bullish semi-long term until we get to this H4 supply zone. Know that for a fact. So we come down here, we know we're going to have an opportunity to do what? Scale in more entries. So the thing about it is I could have taken this entry all the way to that H4 supply zone right here. I could have taken this entry to this H4 supply zone. I could have taken this middle entry right here to the H4 supply zone and this one right here. So I would have still had 4 entries running all the way up to here. Okay. And then looking for more scale ins on a lower time frame in order to do what? Go to this H4 supply zone because I know that's the next area of interest where the sellers can reappear in the market. And long term, I know that we're in a distribution cycle off the monthly. So I know that these buys are what I like to call semi-long term, or it's a correction. Okay. And simply you can do this on any pair, any time frame. All right. But like I said, M15 is going to be my lowest area and zone of interest as far as this. When price mitigates this area, Then I'll go down to M5 to, you know, redefine or refine my area of interest and to make my risk as small as possible. Because my risk, I'm not going to sit up here and dry and say, you know what, I'm going to put a dry buy limit right here and call it a day and have a 505 pip stop loss. That's not what we're going to do. Let price mitigate the area, zoom in to see what's going on in the action, and then see a smaller accumulation coming off of this area. And then that's when I'll do what? Minimize my risk, maximize my reward. That's it. All right. So gold is always going to be a definite pair I'll be looking at. Let's go look at some Asian session pairs because since the Asian session is involved, Asian session is in session right now. Let's look at all USD. So check this out. We had this marked up. We know that this was a redistribution. We knew that this was an area of interest where the sellers were supposed to come in or could come in, because guess what? We know that this had to be a reaccumulation. The sellers did not come off of this redistribution, right? So price continued to go bullish. And you see we have an alert sitting right here for our USD, just in case I want to come back down here, and that's on the M30, just in case I want to come back down here and go bullish, but it did not. So we're going to remove, we're going to simply remove these areas of interest. Like I said, these were placed on the 5-minute time frame. That's in the past. But I would no longer do an area of interest on the M5. It's going to be M15 or higher as far as a zone of interest. And then once it mitigates that area, I will refine that area to have my risk as small as possible. All right. So got this zoned out, right? The buyers too strong, push through here, which automatically makes this what? A reaccumulation, right? So now we're looking at this possible distribution. We see how price is still mitigating demand zones, still breaking structure, creating new highs, right? Price still mitigating demand zone right here. It did not create a new high yet, though. It did not create a new high yet. So price may be diverging or attempting to diverge. Let's see. Yeah, there's going to be a great sell zone because this right here on the daily is an area of interest where price accumulated, reaccumulated, broke structure right here. So what I'm looking at is price selling from this zone, distributing, redistributing, breaking structure, create a new low, and tapping into this demand zone, higher time frame demand zone, and then accumulating off of it. That's what I see long term for odd USD. All right. So let's see what's up. Let's see if we can get something off the M15. Okay, there's your redistribution. Okay, you still got price doing what? Mitigating demand zones. Mitigating demand zones, breaking the structure, came back into this POI, accumulating off of it. So you see this M5 accumulation right here without the RSI being shown up. This is a divergence right here. I'm just showing you on the M5 how you can look at this stuff. Like, it's amazing when you understand how price moves. That's a divergence, and this is the change of character right here. That's a M5 change of character. So let's go confirm on the RSI. You can see how literally price is slanting lower right here on the candlesticks. On the RSI, slanting upward in the same exact area. In the midpoint right here, the change of character area. That's simple. That's simple. So price literally came right here, diverged right here, changed character. Here's your redistribution. Here's your redistribution right here. Price decided to accumulate right off of here. The sellers did not reappear off of this, right? So then you will move to the next supply zone, which would be what? This one right here. This will be the next supply zone. There's a divergence on the 1 minute time frame right here, and this right here is an eternal change of character. Okay. So, like I said, I'm not interested in I'm just not interested in taking a scalping. I can do it. I'm just not interested in it. So the thing about it is this. This is an area of interest where the sellers can reappear, but I don't believe it's going to do it because you have your redistribution on the M5 right here. You have your redistribution right here. So the thing about it is this. You can zone this area off like this. Because now this is going to be a reaccumulation that pops up in here and probably sells off in this zone. That's what I see. So I'll remove this. This is for scalpers. I'm not opposed to it. I just don't like to scalp. I can do it. But now we know that this is a redistribution. You can see the divergence up here. Change of character. That's a distribution, redistribution. Here's your accumulation. What is print after an accumulation is a reaccumulation. So this whole deal right here is going to be like some type of triangle. It's going to be like some type of triangle. Come up, go bullish up there. That's my anticipation. USD. So yeah, but you have to wait for price to mitigate the area and then wait for the distribution to print. Divergence, change of character. Once it changes character out of that POI, you'll be able to get in for your sell market execution and stop loss right above the distribution structure, the redistribution structure. So, but you can still see the sales are going to be high risk because you can still see how demand is still being tapped into and pushing up and breaking structure. Demand is still being tapped into, pushing up and breaking structure. But that still doesn't disqualify this as an area of interest where the sellers can reappear. Still is a POI, is an M5 POI. But like I said, me personally, I just stick to the M15 because I want to catch a larger move. That's why I want to catch a larger move. I'm just showing you how fractal the market is. I'm just showing you how super fractal the market is. All right, so if I'm trading all USD, what am I looking at if you ask? Okay, cool, bet. Here's the deal. Price broke structure right here. The diverge, change character, tapped into a POI. Broke a structure right here. Broke a structure above. Okay, cool, bet. Price came and tapped back into this reaccumulation, excuse me. Came back and tapped into this reaccumulation POIC right here. All right. That's valid. All right. So price came in, is accumulated, reaccumulated, broke structure, created a distribution. And then bam, accumulated right here, reaccumulated, tap back into a supply zone, came back down here. You see the distribution, redistribution, bam, accumulation right here. So then the price did what? Accumulated, broke through this. So you see this redistribution in between here, like this. See that redistribution, right? So because, yeah, I gotta excuse my voice a little raspy from me coaching at 3 games. Coaching at 3 games yesterday. So here's the deal. You see this redistribution right here. So when price came back to mitigate after accumulated right here, price came back to mitigate this redistribution imbalance, this POI, where this was an area of interest where the sellers could reappear. You see it obliterated, right? So now you know this whole deal has to be a reaccumulation in order for the buyers to do what? Push prices higher. So right here now is a what? Is a break of structure. Right here is now a break of structure. All right. So now we got price, know what? As it breaks structure, distributes, it redistributes. Price decided to accumulate off of this level or these levels, right? So now price does what? It diverges. It internally changes character right here. As you can see, this is slanting lower, and literally this is slanting upward. This midpoint right here, if I use my cursor, is the change of character area. So right here internally, price did what? Change character. Stick with me and I'll help you understand it. All right. So now that price changed character, what did price want to do? Okay, price, I can see price accumulated, reaccumulated, created a distribution right here, and then it did what? It came in and it went back bullish off of the reaccumulation right here. This imbalance right here. Went bullish back off of this. So price then did what? Accumulated, reaccumulated, broke this structure internally. Okay. So now what we do is just we're following price. We're just following price. Or probably equaled out. All right, but this would be a definitely internal breaker structure. This right here would be a redistribution, and you can see how price did what? When it tapped back into this redistribution, it sold off back to the what? It sold off back to the reaccumulation. So this was a dope sell to TP1 to this area. All right, that's how you be able to read price. So now what I believe is this is going to be a because this is accumulation off of this. I can see that. I believe there's going to be a reaccumulation and push price up a little higher. This is what I see. I'm not saying what it's going to do. I'm just telling you what I see. Yeah, that's what I see. That's exactly what I see. So if you were to mark up structure as far as the M15, let's mark up structure. We got this low already right here on the M30. We got that checked. This will be a high. This will be an accumulation low. This will be a high. This will be an accumulation low. This will be a high. This will be an accumulation low. And now we don't have a high yet. So we know that this is a distribution high. We know that this is accumulation low. So the natural thing we would think to do, hey, price probably wants to create a higher high. But what do? We have already smacked this H4 supply zone. So the thing about it is we know that this is an accumulation. We know since price did not, the sellers did not reappear out of this H4 redistribution, we know that this is a reaccumulation in between here. So now the market needs to print what? A distribution. So now my anticipation is this. This is inducing everybody to go ahead and buy, thinking it's an uptrend, when in all actuality, it's going to yank this thing back down. And the thing about it is, I can see the distribution. I can see it. So let's, you know what? So I'm going to leave this up here like this. But now I'm going to add the on the H1. I'm going to add the Wyckoff events. I'm going to add the Wyckoff events. So right here, mark this green. It's a little bit bigger. Let me go 16. Mark this green. This is on H1. So this is a preliminary supply. All right. These are the events in a distributor schematic. Push down. This would be the buying climax. This right here would be the automatic rally. No, my bad. Automatic reaction. It's automatic reaction in a distribution. It's automatic rally in an accumulation. Automatic reaction. Secondary test. This would be right here, the minor sign of weakness. All right, minor sign of weakness. And then this right here will be the up thrust. The market, according to the guide, comes down, taps into the minus sign of weakness demand zone, and then guess what? It's either supposed to create a U tag, an up thrust at the distribution, or price is coming back to create a what? A LPSY, which is a last point of supply. Okay, which is a last point of supply. So my thing would be, hey, somewhere in this zone, I would zone this off just like this, both zones. Let's see, because I can see the unmitigation of this one right here. I can see it on the M15. So my thing would be this zone right here is that zone right there would be an area of interest to me because I can see how price is still internally respecting demand and attempting to want to push up here, and then you get a distribution off of the zone in order to this thing to sell down tremendously. So I'll mark this as an M15 supply zone. You can see this unmitigated candle in between here. Let me zoom in for you. You can see it right in between here. You look, you see how small this distribution is? This divergence, change of bearish change of character, divergence, internally change of character right here. Nothing has came back to mitigate this area. And reset, this is a distribution in the making because this is a reaccumulation causes a redistribution to fail, not an accumulation. Not an accumulation. You got an accumulation down here, and then you got the market reaccumulated in order to fail this redistribution. So now this is the next area of interest where the sellers can come in. And I see a distribution cooking. I just marked out on the H1 the events. So let me see. Do you want me to show? You know what? I'm going to do it. So I'm gonna pull up this guide. And I'm gonna show you how similar the candlesticks compared to the guide. I'm gonna show you how similar the candlesticks compared to the guide. Let's see, I have a download guide. Let's see, you gotta find it, you gotta find it. Here we go. Ah, I'm gonna just show you how it's closely identical, but you gotta allow some flexibility with the guide. So right here, you see I have on the left, top and bottom, accumulation number one, number two, top right and bottom, distribution number one, number two. And through my research, I've developed that there's accumulation number three and distribution number three, where this right here that's not listed is an up thrust action. Same thing right here. This is up thrust action. The only difference between accumulation number one, number two is phase C. Phase C has a spring and test in accumulation number one. Phase C has a what? Last point of support in phase C. It doesn't have a spring and test. So this is a bullish divergence with a bullish change of character. Bullish divergence with a bullish change of character. This is what happens in the entirety of a divergence, these events and phases. Okay, this is a bearish divergence followed by a change of character, bearish change of character with distribution schematic number one and number two. Okay, so right here, what I want to show you, excuse me, look at the preliminary supply, which is the PSY, right? Price goes down, it goes up, it creates a buying climax, automatic reaction, secondary test, minor sign of weakness, and then it goes up right here to create another high, which is the up thrust. This is showing people that, hey, man, the market is still creating what? Higher lows and higher highs. right here, you so confused right here because the market just created a low, right? Because the thing about it is this: only well-informed, only well-informed traders know the market by cycles. What cycle am I in? That's the number one question you have to ask yourself, depending on what time frame you're looking at. Which market price cycle am I in? Which market price cycle needs to be printed next? Okay. Now I know which market price cycle I'm in. Which phase am I in that market price cycle? Am I in phase A, B, C, D, or E? Okay. When I find out that answer, then I need to find out which event am I at? Because is this thing about to drop now? Is this thing about to go up now? Is this thing still need some more time? Is it still cooking? So right here, you see our price create a new low. You thinking, okay, cool, price downtrending, then it turns around and does what? Create a new high. You thinking, okay, cool, high highs and higher lows. After this up thrust is created, price comes down and respects this demand zone, then creates another high. You still thinking, oh man, higher highs, higher highs and higher lows is uptrend. You gotta understand what cycle you're in. Understand if you're in an accumulation, and after accumulation is reaccumulation, and after reaccumulation is a distribution, and after distribution is a redistribution. The market prints like that in order and not out of order. Once you understand that, you'll be able to dominate the market on all cylinders. As a scalper, as a day trader, as a swing trader, as a position trader. All right. So me personally, I'm just not going anything lower than M15, not because I can't. I obviously do it. I've shown you all. But the thing about it is, the results that I'm looking for, they're not going to be produced coming off of the M5 and M1 as far as using the M5 and M1 as a zone of interest. I'm using M5 and M1 as redefined points of an M15 area and as redefined points to make my risk as small as possible. All right. That's what I'm using it for as entries. All right. So then what we're in a distribution, right, on RUSD. So look at this from the buying climax to the automatic reaction to the secondary test of the sign of weakness. Look at this W. You can see a W right in between here. From the buying climax, automatic reaction, secondary test, sign of weakness, up thrust, there's a W. Watch when we go back to the chart on RUSD. Look at this right here. Let's get my drawn two out. You have the preliminary supply right here that pushed up, pushed down, right? Then you got the W right here between the what? Buying climax, automatic reaction, secondary test, minor sign of weakness, and here's your up thrust. Now, in order to further evaluate that this is attempting and cooking is a distribution schematic in the making, in order to further confirm, you can utilize the RSI and see if it's about to create a bearish divergence. Okay, so you can double click right here. This is doing what? Slanting downward, right? You can literally see how this is slanting downward, right? This point is higher than this point. It's slanting downward at the RSI, right? Let's mark this green, right? And guess what? In the same exact area right here, from the buying climax to the up thrust, it's landing upward, which means you are having a divergence. It has not changed character yet, though, which is all great because the distribution schematic is not finished cooking. It's not finished cooking. So you know that the sellers are going to reappear off of this H4 zone. But the thing about it is, it's not done cooking yet. It's not done cooking. So when you go to the M15, even the M5, you can see that there's an imbalance that needs to be mitigated. So I wonder if we were to place a sell limit right here, right, somewhere like this, how many pips would the stop loss be? The stop loss would literally be a 6 pip stop loss. And your next area where the buyers can come into the market is right here. This is the imbalance of their reaccumulation. Okay, because if I take all of this off, there's breaker structures and all this stuff like that on this M30, you can literally see how there's a triangle in between there. There's a funky looking triangle in between there. right? So hold on, let me show you. And I'm gonna remark this up, and the um the alert back on there anyway, because I want to mark it up on the H1, like I have this marked up on the let's see. I got the events marked up on the H1, but I got the market structure marked up on the M15. So let me see. I'm gonna do it on the M30. I'm gonna do it on H1. I'm gonna do it on H1. All right, I'm doing it on H1. So now I'm just erasing this so you can all can see the reaccumulation triangle. It's literally how you trade. It's literally how you trade. So you can literally see the triangle in between here. You literally see that reaccumulation triangle. So now I'm simply going to put the horizontal ray back on. So I'm just going to put on H1. All right. There's an area of interest where the buyers could reappear. That's why this will be TP. So right here on the M15, I'm going to simply put me an alert to because the sale is coming in. The sale is coming in, and you have evidence that the sale is coming in. Let's go over it. Let's go over the criteria one more time. This is a area of interest because this is a distribution, redistribution. This is a distribution that broke structure. Then you had your redistribution, and price broke the structure right here again. Then price accumulated, and then came back to this redistribution POI right here, where the sellers had a chance to reappear in the market. But guess what? It failed. So what causes a redistribution to fail is a reaccumulation. So then you have the reaccumulation, right? And then now you know that the next market price cycle that needs to be printed is a distribution, which is coming off of a what? Oh, distribution. That's how you mark it out. And so where would TP1 be? TP1 would be this reaccumulation imbalance right here. All right, this reaccumulation imbalance. All right. So that's simply going to be all that I have for this evening on the weekly watch trade list. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule in order to listen to what I have to say. It is always greatly appreciated, and I will never ever take it for granted. Have a safe, blessed, and productive rest of your soulful Sunday evening. Know that I love you, and as I always like to say, God created us on purpose to fulfill a purpose, but more importantly, God has blessed us with our name on it. Always remember to be addicted to information, but never allergic to execution. Also, remember that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice because every single individual human being in this world is going through some type of challenge, obstacle, or battle. And many of us are going through multiple challenges, obstacles, and battles simultaneously. So be super cognizant and aware and intentional on what you need to say, on what needs to be said, and what you want to say. But check your delivery method and check the recipient on the end of that message because not everybody receives messages the same way. Okay, your intent is to be transparent, but your intent is not to cause harm. Also, what I want to do is say this while you're enduring those challenges, obstacles, and battles, we always say, we always want to, converse with God while we're going through that challenge, while we're going through that obstacle, while we're going through that battle. We always want to converse with God like, God, where are you? Where are you, God? I'm going through some trying times right now. I'm going through some trials and tribulations right now. Where are you, God? But I've come to this conclusion. And so, and a lot of times you don't hear God, or God decides not to speak, you know? And there's a reason why God decides not to speak. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why. I come to the realization that the teacher is always quiet during a test. The teacher is always quiet during a test. when you're taking a test, whether it be on Scantron or a test in life, the teacher that teaches you is always quiet during the test. So while you're going through that challenge, obstacle, or battle in life, and you call on God, and He decides not to speak, it's because the teacher is always quiet during the test. All right. Also, realize that people only rock with you for two reasons. Either you've been official or either you are beneficial. There's no difference between the two. Never stop learning, never stop studying, never stop grinding, never stop teaching, and most importantly, and certainly not least, never stop praying. I will see all of you next week, okay, with another weekly trade watch list. All right? Have a safe, blessed, productive rest of your day and your week ahead. All right? Y'all take care.